Monday Night Lights, Monday Night Lights, Monday Night Lights. Let's talk about what's been going on at Viking Ice Arena. You've never seen a league so exciting and tough and fast. It simply must be discussed on an equally exciting and tough podcast. What's it called? Monday Night Lights. Yeah. Monday Night Lights. The Nordiques, the Whalers, the Seals, the Americans, the North Stars. Who's gonna stall? Who will go far and earn the keg? Who's gonna earn the keg? We'll find out in time. Give us a holler on the whoop line.
Here we go. Power rankings, December 21st. First game of the third and final rotation. Checking in at number 1, the Nordiques. Pongrazi, I think I referenced it in the, I don't know if it was last week's Power Rankings or the Monday's Musings or something, but Pongrazi has developed this wonderful way of getting a chip on his shoulder. Finding offense that the Nordiques were number 2 last week, and I put the Seals at number 1. I think for someone as smart as Pongrazi, figured he'd see the sarcasm in that, putting the Seals at number 1, but I just figured it was a good chance. But all that being said, he does have a legit chip on his shoulder in the sense that he got snubbed for the All-Star game. So he took it out on the lowly North Stars, just an easy, no-sweat shutout, and they took care of business. Big news of the night, Dave P. showed up and played well. I have to give credit where credit is due. Been harsh on Vape, but I believe he had 2 assists in the game, both to Slick Rick. So getting the puck on his stick is never, a bad idea. The first goal of the game was truly a heartbreaker. It's like Dave P. has the puck on the wall. We're talking Olympic ice, 1,000 feet from the net. Dave probably can't even shoot it hard enough to get it to the net, let alone score a goal. But we had a little miscommunication. 2 of our defenders go after Vape, a harmless, no-threat Vape on the wall, leaving, Slick Rick unattended in the slot. And Rick didn't have a ton of chances this game, but his finishing percentage is very high, so it's like we couldn't get lucky and have him miss the net or something like that, so he just buried it 1-0. Thought the North Stars played well for long stretches, but can't score, age-old tale. And then after a rush for the North Stars, then Vape hits Rick on a counter punch. Rick goes in on a breakaway and finishes, and that was kind of night-night Jim Kite. So Nordiques continue with their success. They are second place, trying to chase down the Whalers for first, but at a minimum, looking in very good shape to hold on to that first round bye. Can't let their feet off the gas because the Maroons will be coming hard after them, but they stand in very good shape. They've certainly clinched a playoff berth, if not mathematically yet, but they'll be in the playoffs. So Nordiques, number 1. Cheers to Pongrazi. Checking in at number 2 on the list are the first place Whalers. Whalers they've been human lately. They've kind of lost a game and then had some competitive games, but they came out and really just kind of unleashed on the Seals. A little bit of that was good play by the Whalers. Some of it was bad play, bad luck by the Seals. I've had Officer Riley on my team for multiple years. Riley is a wonderful goalie in that he accepts responsibility when he doesn't play well. He doesn't sugarcoat it, doesn't make excuses or blah, blah, blah. So I think Officer Riley would be the first to admit, that he had a rough night. So the first goal of the game was a little goofy, like this little flurry in front of the net, and, he saves it, goes off its pad, but it's pinned on his pad, but somehow it didn't get to the back of the net, but it crossed over the line and, it was in. So I think that kind of set the tone. It was going to be a bad night. Then Alan Z, he has a shot from the point that kind of gets through him. then Larrabee scored that first goal. Then Larrabee scored his second goal on a breakaway. He tried to deke Riley unintentionally, intentionally. It looked like the Kucherov, but it was unintentional. But it turned out to be a fabulous move. Kind of got through 5-hole. It is interesting, as Larrabee pointed out, when he did actually not lose the puck later in the game and he had a breakaway, Riley shut him down. But anyways, the Whalers definitely were buzzing. And congrats to Larrabee for his entrance into the hat-trick lounge. I'm extremely jealous. I've been trying for many years to get in that exclusive lounge, and I can't, and Larrabee just waltzes in year one. So happy for him on one hand, extremely jealous on the other. Big Cat Maki has been entrenched in a scoring slump after racing out to a hot start. The bet looked like a sure win. Then he's really been struggling and gave us some life, but he got one. So he is 1 goal away from making Drake a winner on his bet. So we'll see what happens there. But, high-scoring affair, but the Whalers, just too much offense to handle. And they are number 2 this week. Checking in at number 3, I have the Maroons. They were on a bye week. Bin reffed, which was great. Piercy subbed, which is great. And Sugar also subbed. Other than that, pretty poor representation. Crusoe might have subbed too, but not great representation as far as helping out with the clocks. I'm not trying to pick on the Maroons, but this is a bye week, so this is a good time for this announcement. The whole purpose of the bye week, when we had this uneven number, and we've had a chance to expand to 8, but the concept of having a bye week, I've kind of embraced, but it's to have extra bodies available to sub, but also extra bodies to help, run the league. So we need scorekeepers, clock operators, and if you're on a bye, again, don't tell your wife, don't tell your girlfriend. There are no bye weeks, right? If you've told your girlfriend or wife, that's a bad decision, right? You should never say that, because the odds are you're going to be a chance to sub. You can ref, you can do something. So, and then, you can always say like, oh, got canceled this week, but they should never know that there's a bye week, right? And then we definitely need to contribute. If you're playing in that 10 o'clock game, whether you're on a bye week or not, if you're on a bye week or in the 10 o'clock game, we need some people there to help run the clock. Hedis has been injured. He's been doing it basically all by himself. Me and Panny, when we play at 10 o'clock, we're always there early. I was reffing this week. Panny was subbing, but it takes some help to run this league. So step up and volunteer. If you have a 10 o'clock game, get there at 9 o'clock, watch one of the games, help out on the clock, and have a good time, okay? But Maroons, bye week number 3. Checking in at number 4, we have the Americans. I was reffing on the other sheet, so I did not get to watch this game. Sounds like a crazy night for the Americans. Rubel came in, not going to lie, looked like he had that little... looked like he had smoking some weed, and then what do you know, he forgot his pants at home. Reliable Piercy shows up with his postal service bag, but he doesn't have his skates. Gumma was a late bail, so Crusoe was running late. So disjointed start to the Americans, but the benefit of that is, Proctor showed up, so that's good. So it sounds like the Americans raced out to a 3-0 or even a 4-0 lead, playing with a short bench. And then sounds like kind of held on for dear life. Looks like the Tigers had a nice push, but we'll talk about talk about them later. But it's back-to-back wins for the Americans after a little lull. They've kind of seem to have righted the ship, and they check in at number 4, distancing themselves from the Seals in the basement, and they're looking pretty good for a playoff spot. And this is not a team you want to play in the playoffs. They have Proctor, they have Johnny G. That's a combo that, similar to the Deeks. The Deeks have Pengrazi and Slick Rick. I mean, just that combo of having a potent sniper and a great goalie. Certainly don't want to see this team in a one-and-done situation. So, Americans checking in at number 4. Checking in at number 5, we have the Tigers. The Tigers were certainly the most impressive of the losing teams this week. Sounds like they dug themselves a huge hole. Down 3-0, perhaps 4-0. I don't even know if that's accurate or not. But part of it was the Americans not having bodies and Proctor getting to play. But it sounds like the Tigers, could have, when you have a 5-on-4 power play and then the other team commits a penalty, you give them the puck to get the stoppage and as much time as you want on the 5-on-3. Sounds like the Tigers did the opposite of that. Maybe they thought that they were keeping them tired. I'm not sure. But anyways, they got off to a slow start. They came roaring back. The final score was, I believe, 7-6 or 6-5. But there were the Tigers had the goalie pull, the face-off in the Americans' end, and a chance to tie up the game with everybody watching. So definitely a nice rally. Sounds like Peso scored a goal, and sounds like Pellet scored 2. I don't think Pellet scored 1 this year for the North Stars. So definitely happy for them. But Jesus Christ, if we would have gotten this type of production, maybe we would be in a different situation. But nevertheless, happy for my former North Stars. And the Tigers had, sounds like something to build on, some momentum heading into next matchup after the break with the Americans, and kind of a, big matchup. The loser of the Tigers, North Stars, is in a kind of a dogfight for that final playoff spot. The winner might have a little bit of breathing room depending on what the Seals do, but I think overall Skillman has probably got to be happy with the performance even though they lost. Checking in at number 6, we have the North Stars. Really, you can make a case to put the Seals here at number 6. I'm not sure what I did on the instant power rankings. Seals definitely scored more. Probably played better, but there were moments of the North Stars game where I was happy with the flow. I put the Tigers together for some fun. Simonelli, I think, enjoyed the opportunity to play forward. Him, Trent, and Venandi did some good things. Had multiple chances, but just couldn't get one past Pangrazi. But there were stretches where the North Stars clearly were better team, better chances, possessed the puck, but we just, you got to finish in this league. So you can have all the possession that you want. If you don't score, it doesn't matter. And then when the Nordiques got their chance with Slick Rick, he didn't fuck around. He finished. And that's how you lose hockey games. So we had Kayla in net. I told him that, it was pretty much his fault. You kind of expect when you score 0 goals that your goalie will at least get you into overtime and to shootout to give you a chance. But Kayla definitely let us down by not holding them to a shutout, but what can you do? So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's getting close to desperation time for the North Stars. They have the Tigers next week. Huge matchup. If we win, gives us some room against the Seals, depending on what they do, but then also kind of keeps the Tigers within reaching distance. If we lose, the Tigers and the Americans have stretched themselves out, and then the North Stars are literally just fighting for that final spot with the Seals. So we shall see. I'm cautiously optimistic. I thought the flow of the game was good, but need to put the fucking puck in the net. No other way to put it. And going from first to worst, we have the Seals. They were really never in this game. Larrabee scored on that first shift of the game to make it 1-0. Allen Z scored 2-0. Larrabee again 3. I mean, it was 3 or 4-0 right off the bat. They did have their moments. Sugar came in, was a good sub for him. He ripped one past Ryan Z. Bright spot for the Seals, as I think Dylan pointed out, and I agreed with. Ciparoni has just really developed into a nice offensive player. He's kind of, slicing and dicing, taking it to the rack. He scored, I think, 2 goals, but he's very confident with the puck and playing very well offensively. I will say, one kind of negative, he did have some costly turnovers in his own end, trying to make a breakout pass right up the middle and right on someone's tape. So it's not, you gotta have a little objective criticism here and there. But Sip's very good game. I thought Lee Hughes played a good game. He was pretty aggressive. So Seals are definitely, despite the loss and the ugly number, they were competitive. It's like some pucks got in on Riley and the game kind of got away from them. But I think overall they've found their chemistry. They found their lines. So Shawnee comes back. They're not going to go down without a fight. Everybody knows that. So not exactly sure who they have next week, but it's getting close. But they didn't lose any ground on the North Stars, so we shall see.